It is now pouring with rain and I am not prepared because, oh dear, it's going to be fine. Don't you love camping? One of the things I love about camping is that there is never a shortage of adventure, and today's trip is proving to be exactly like that. Already I have had a huge disappointment, a broken tent, a visit from a stranger, a realization, and a complete change of location. And here we are at the beginning of the video. I will tell you guys all about it shortly, but first of all I need to get camp set up before the rain sets in. I've got these two poles from the tent that I brought with me, which I'll explain all about later. It's part of the chaos of the early stage of this camp. But what I really need is two more supports for the front of the tarp, or at least one for the centre. So I'm going to head into the bush and see what I can find. Looking pretty good. One more extremely long stick needed. I'm happy with that. I am definitely going to whack my knee on this at least once, so I'll take it out. It's nice to get a bit of a break in the weather to finish getting everything set up. It was a bit chaotic when I first arrived. So, the story. The story of my adventures. I've been wanting to camp here for ages and was just looking for the right weather because it can be very windy around here. There's a bit of a breeze now, but the wind is not supposed to be strong overnight, so I thought this is the perfect time to come out camping here. I also wanted to camp midweek because it's very popular, and even though there's no one in this area yet, there could quite possibly be other people, so midweek is always better than on the weekend. When I arrived here, I drove down the access road and came across a sign saying no camping with an arrow, and I interpreted that to mean no camping beyond that point. And I was gutted because this camping spot is beyond that point. So I came down here and had a bit of a look around, and wallowed in my misery, decided that I wasn't going to camp here because I don't like doing the wrong thing. It's just me. So I went back down to an area before the sign where I probably wouldn't have got the place to myself. It's much closer to the road and much closer to where most people camp. And I started setting my tent up. I had brought with me my big blue 6-person tent, which I like to use just for me because it's lovely and spacious. What is it called? It's the Zempire Neo 6. Great tent. I got it second hand, awesome tent for 1 or 2 people if you want lots of room and all your gear and everything. I was just starting to set it up when I discovered that the pole was broken. Oh dear. I love being generous and loaning out my gear. It would just be nice if those that borrowed it let me know that a pole had broken. Huh. Anyway, I tried to fix it. I really did. And it wasn't successful. Everything about this camp was perfectly planned. And I finally made it to camp when it's nice and sunny, so I can set up in good conditions. Oh, I'm so disappointed. But there's no way I'm going home. Then just as I was packing that away and planning to just camp like this with my tarp over the back of the car, I saw a guy who was out walking, and he started coming over to me. So I quickly packed the camera away because I don't like people to see me filming, or I don't like to film people because that's a bit rude. And I'll just move the camera. Somebody's coming. And his name was Paul. Lovely guy, and he lives out of his car, and as he said to me, I don't really care what people think that I'm a senior citizen living out of my car. I love it. I love the options that it gives me just to move around and be wherever I want to be. And he was lovely and chatty, and I didn't want to be rude, so I stood there chatting to him for ages. And as I was talking to him, the sandflies were biting me and the rain was starting to fall, and eventually I had to say, like, I better go and get myself set up. So by the time I had said goodbye to Paul and he'd headed back to where he's camping further down, closer to the road, it was then pouring with rain. Right, a lot has happened since I was talking to you last. It is now pouring with rain, and I am not prepared because just as I was packing up the tent, this lovely guy came walking along from around there, Paul, and stopped for a chat. An older guy with lots of stories, and I didn't want to be disrespectful. So, it's raining. One of the things that Paul was able to tell me, because he comes here quite often, is that the little sign down there that says no camping does not mean you can't camp past that point. It means you can't camp on the left-hand side of the road. There is a beautiful camping spot down there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw the stuff back in the car, get my raincoat on, we're going to go down to that camping spot that I love, and we're going to set the tarp up over the back of the car and camp out of the back of the car. It's going to be fine. Don't you love camping? So by the time I got down here and we caught up at the beginning of the video, I had already encountered a disappointment a broken tent, a visit from somebody, and a change of location. So there you go. I just need to cut a notch in the top of this stick here so that the guy line can fit into it, because as the tarp is blowing it's just popping right off this branch. The notch will give it something to sit into and hopefully stop it from blowing off. Let's see. Fingers crossed. All right, let's go for a bit of a walk. If you're wondering why Indy isn't with me on this trip, Indy's my dog. No dogs allowed in Arthur's Pass National Park. No horses either, and I do have a horse, didn't bring her. It's too beautiful to run back to camp just because there's a little bit of rain. You can see it's raining over on that side, but there's not quite as much that way, so you never know. One of the things I've always wondered is how far you can get up the true left of the Waimak, up this valley. So that's what I want to go and see. So it's no problem to cross across that river when it's like it is today. In fact, I can see a hiker coming down the river. You just cross back and forth as you need to. But for me, when it's been raining hard, that's what I'm worried about. And if I head out and it rains overnight, I need to know I can get back. So this is what I want to see. I was sure other people had thought of the same thing, and that there would probably be a track through here. I think the answer to my question is you can bush bash up along the true left-hand side of the Waimak if you want to head up to Pro Valley, but it's going to take you a long time. I've been going for a wee while, and I just looked at the topographical map and I am still ages and ages away from where you can safely walk alongside the river without having to be up in the bush. So it can be done, but I would suggest that Pro Valley is a trip for fair weather. I will do it one day, but I'll do it in good weather. for me, it's for you. $4.30 seems like a reasonable time for a gin and tonic, doesn't it? I'm actually not a big drinker. I generally only have a glass of something when I'm out socially with friends. There's usually only one, maybe two. The only other time I drink is when I'm out on camps. And I think it's the ceremony of it. There's just something about being able to sit down and relax and have a sundowner, even if there's no sun. Black hoodie, and I have no idea where I put it. There's not that many places. What did I do with it? Hopefully you can hear me because the wind is pretty noisy. Sorry about that. I'm just speed walking / jogging back to the spot where I started setting up my tent. I put it on the roof of the car. Yippee! Right, I'm gonna really need that G&T when I get back to camp, that's for sure. It's a little bit damp from being out on the road, but it's good. The nice thing about wool is it stays warm when it's wet, so even if it's a little bit damp, it's still nice and warm. This was a gift that my sister made for me. Beautiful. Raspberry infused gin. I'm never sure how much to put in when it's like not just a straight gin, so have to figure it out. one of the things I really hated when I was a child was being blamed for things by my parents when I genuinely didn't do it. We've all been there, hey? You know, when you get blamed just because you're a kid. So I texted my son and said, hey son, so you know that time you and your friends went camping? Did you end up using my Zempire Neo blue tent? And he's like, nah, why? And when I think about it, I remember the trip because they set off up to Mount Lyford in the middle of winter. Anyone who knows Mount Lyford knows it's a ski field area. In the middle of winter, 17, 18-year-olds going skiing and sleeping in a tent. I love it. You only do that when you're 17 or 18. Sleep in a tent because you're totally skint. You don't have enough money. And you're going to do it the hard way. And they were probably 2 hours into their journey when I went into the garage and saw the pegs for the tent sitting on the ground, and I realised they had, oh no, it was the poles. It was the poles. It was the poles for that tent. So he definitely didn't even take the poles. So when he says that it wasn't him that broke the poles, I'm going to believe him. I'm choosing to believe my kids when they say it wasn't them, because I can remember going like, it wasn't me, like it genuinely wasn't me. And just because you were the kid, you got blamed for it. So yes, sorry son, I know it wasn't you that broke the tent poles. I do not know how that happened. I could even just blame myself because my memory is shocking. It's probably an age thing. Either that, or they probably just warped. They're so old. It's a second-hand tent. They might have just broken as I pulled them out of the bag. Right, well, for dinner tonight, I've got a bit of an eclectic mix because I didn't want to go and buy something specially for the trip. So I've got some chicken breast, and I've brought with me olive oil, onion, homegrown garlic, mushrooms, fresh chili, spinach, and like a kind of a medley mix of grated beetroot and carrot, which is meant to be a coleslaw. I think you're supposed to do it that way, but actually it would make a really good vegetable addition for my meal. And I've got a crispy Korean style chicken seasoning to go on the chicken. And just because I am going with an international theme that encompasses all nationalities, I have got couscous, which is not very Korean, but anyway, we're going to do couscous with chicken and vegetables, and it's going to be amazing.
So tempting when I come out camping to eat badly, like just buy a couple of burger patties and fry them up. Or just cook up a big pot of instant noodles. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, it's really nice when you're out in nature enjoying stuff that's really good for you to have some good quality food. I'm sitting here wondering, if I got to do this every day, would I appreciate it as much as I do? Would I know how lucky I am? I don't think I would. I mean, I might be wrong, but I feel like one of the only ways you appreciate what you have is not to have it. And then when you do, you really appreciate it. I'm really, really grateful to be here. Really grateful. Fresh bag of coffee. I really like this one, Crank, by C4 Coffee Company. They're based down in Christchurch. Really good. Highly recommend it. Not cheap, unfortunately, but thankfully I have some Buy Me a Coffee members and donors, so thank you, you guys. The gifts that you give me allow me to buy some nice things for camps, so I appreciate it. Take my coffee and go for a little morning wander. These plants here are Mataguri, and as you can tell, they're not very nice to brush up against. I'm gonna see if I can pick my way through them though, because I want to go out here onto the flats. Not successful. I think I've found my way into the densest part of all the Mataguri. Okay, that's probably as good as it's going to get. I just wanted to bring you here and show you around the whole valley. Stunning. Beautiful spot for a coffee. I'm going to see if I can find a rock to sit on. As beautiful as it is, I can't stay too long. It'd be lovely if I could, but reality calls me home. So I'm going to head back and dismantle the tarp. But I'm just thinking, why don't I show you a bit of the camp as we go out? You can see the area that's a bit closer to the road. Last night I didn't even know I had that neighbour. So this is where I originally set up last night, and it would have been lovely, but it's quite close to the road. And then here where they've mowed the grass is where they're setting up for the coast to coast race. Register and pay your camp fees. Don't feed the kea. Didn't see any kea this time round. I've seen them a little bit further up the valley towards Arthur's Pass. Lovely native parrot, cheeky little guy. And there up ahead where you can see the other cars is the other part of the camping ground. You can see a little toilet block in the distance, so most people camp just there. But to me, that seems crazy because you're right by State Highway 73. Each to their own. Excuse the smooshed up window. Goodbye campsite. Bye everyone. Thanks for joining me on this trip. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.